I'm just going to continue with that. I just did that one video. I asked Eric Smith, the forest ranger, I said, why did you call Fincastle Police? I mean, I'm there. I can't even move. I'm trying to get my stuff back out, and I can't. I just pulled it in, and I'm so crippled I can't do it. And he had called the cab, and I'm going to have to pay for the cab that just brought me for $100 back, and he charged me $100 to go back to where I am now. So it's $200 plus the stuff I spent just in one day to try to get some camping gear to go out camping and get some fresh air. So my money, in the matter of a few days, because all this $500 was gone, and I have nothing now. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Eric stood there, though, and the policeman said to him, he says, well, we'll hire you, Eric. You can come work for the, that's Bontoc County Police or Sheriff. I don't know which division it was. And when you retire, he's ready to retire. And I said, why did you bring him out here, Eric? Call him. And he says, well, he's my friend. Eric, some years ago, I could get the date, but I put it up, he actually threatened me. But he could also say that I made too much out of it. He asked me, had I seen Maurice Ferguson lately. Maurice was a person I met years ago. He worked for, when I had to move here, he had to beg for food and a place to stay. He was part of the homeless originally, and I don't think he had any psychology. He must have gotten it later because he moved on up later into the mental health field. Well, I understand what Eric was doing. He was threatening me with the mental health, and that's that they can shut me up using that. I mean, they don't have to have anything. They can just come out and lock you up, and by the time that you've been there a day or two, I mean, you won't ever walk out if they don't want you to. I wrote about some of this back in the book. So my point is that I'm under threat. I have no money. I don't know what I'm going to do. But Eric, I said, Eric, I haven't even been out in the forest except, and I do want to get this in, except last year I came on, and it was North Creek Campground, which is a small 16 campsites. And suddenly it's pretty. It's by out at Arcadia. And suddenly there's this host there that have a home on wheels. Theirs must cost $250,000. Well, I was okay during the period of time they were there. I stayed 2 weeks, a little over, and I've never broken the rules out there. Other people there's supposed to be a limit. They live out there, some of them, most of the time. Go and come as they please. So there's no rules. But before in the past, Archie was the host, and he burned formaldehyde, and that just about kills me. That's how it makes me move from one place to the other. It permeates the air, and it's illegal as heck. It can hurt anybody, but me, I can't stop urinating. Some of the water, I mean, I can't. It just goes. The water is depleted in me, and I can't sleep. My eyes pop open, and so I was okay last year. I went back this year to get fresh air. There's a new couple there, and they're from Delville, they said, and they had a camper or home on wheels. It was almost the same as the one that I just told you about, maybe a little less, but they're really beautiful. Well, they burned formaldehyde for about 4 days in a row, so I was so sick that I had to come back, spend money to come back. Then I went back out because it had gotten so bad for me. I went back out and thought, well, maybe this time will be better because not that many people are out there this time of the year. I got out there, and I spent 3 nights in hell, so sick I couldn't live. Didn't sleep all night, urinated all over I couldn't stop. So I came to Mountain Pass, where I had tended some. It's the old trail. And the minute I got there, they tell what people what to do, and they do it. Is the sad part. And the trail begins, and it runs parallel to some farms and right across the street. So they got me. I no sooner got there than the formaldehyde is going. I'm falling down. Can you imagine, 76 years old, running for my life, and people burning formaldehyde that kills me. So I don't know how long I stayed out there. I pulled it one day, and another day I'd pull it because they were burning it, and I thought, well, I'll get far enough back that I can't smell it. Well, that's not true. I don't know how they did it, but the last night I couldn't take it anymore, and somebody came and got me out, and then they went back and got my tent. So now I want to finish with this because I'm sitting here and I'm so sick I don't know what I'm going to do. They should be locked up a long time ago. But I told him when he was standing there in his vehicle, sitting there in his vehicle, and the cab was coming for me. I said, Eric, the cab driver called up to your office and asked could he take me across from Cornelius. There's a place there at the pond where it's spots that nice spots, pretty nice spots where you can camp free. I said, you told him that he couldn't come up on Sunday, that taxis couldn't. He said, oh, that's not true. I said, it is true. You did tell him that. And I said, when he comes, that's where he intended to take me. Can he take me? He got mad and he told me no way. Here's what he told me. I could not set foot on National Forest land. I was not to go anywhere. He'd be up there after me. Cab driver drove up and he said the same thing to him. He drove up in his own car, the one that just dropped me off. He said, don't you take her up there. And, I mean, he was horrible. I said, I begged him. I said, well, then go about fourth of a mile up and tell the host to please not burn formaldehyde. I said, Eric, that's illegal. You know that. You're law enforcement. He said, I'm not going to get involved in it. Can you believe this? He's given me an illegal ticket. It's a warning, and I dare, if they measured it, and if you're going to get technical about it, I dare say that I was within the limits. My God, there's a big boat thing up there, and that I was behind. And anyway, it's got on here something about preserving nature right up here. I won't try to read it on it. But here I'm telling him about formaldehyde, which he had to sanction. He has known about it over the years. Illegal. And he's telling me he's not going to do anything about it. And then he said, well, you're not going up there to start trouble. I'll have you know I'm upset now, but I learned a long time ago not to get angry and let people know or try to talk back to them, especially law enforcement. You shut your mouth till you can get an attorney and him speak for you, and that's the problem. I can't get one. So anyway, he's on one hand he's arresting me or writing me out a warning, and I can't go on national forest land. I said, will you write out a little note about that and why? He said, no, I won't. So when started to leave in the cab, he hit a beer can, and I guess since it was overgrown. He said, "Oh, it's a beer can, some beer cans." I said, "Well, I don't drink beer." He says, "I know." So what's his point? The point is he's just doing it. He's following orders, and they've deliberately kept me homeless and then charged me for it. And this involves other cops and the whole 9 yards. So they should be arrested, and I'm in bad shape now. I don't think I'm going to live, so I wish I had a ticket out of town. I'd never come back to this town, but I've tried to leave before and been run back here.